Welcome back to another UFC fight prediction video. In this video, I'll be predicting the prelim fights for UFC Fight Night on ESPN Plus, De Randamie versus Ladd. So without further ado, let's get to our first fight on the card in our first prelim. So in our first fight, we have in the bantamweight division, Benito Lopez versus Vince Morales. So looking at Vince Morales, he's a solid fighter, lots of skills, very talented. He can go very far away. He has a good ceiling or a high ceiling. I don't know, not a high ceiling, but he has a pretty decent ceiling. He's a solid fighter. He certainly has a good template and all that stuff. And he just got to keep building. Now look at Benito Lopez. Has a lot of wins over solid prospects. He certainly has the technique. He kind of falls into more of a young, youthful, bravado type of fighter where he just throws flying knees and just throws caution to the wind. Very exciting. I think he could probably get a lot better, especially if it's all that stuff is there. If he could time those knees like he's timing them all the time, that shows some skill there. Even though it looks just like crazy, you had to set that up. It has to be time. It has to be skill involved. It's not just random knees. He sees openings. So he's a solid fighter. Kind of falls into that youthful bravado, kind of sloppy at times. But he's a solid fighter because he wouldn't beat the people that he's beating. I think in this fight, the real determining factor is going to be the fact that Vince Morales is not really a powerful fighter. His technique isn't all that solid or that much more advanced than Benito Lopez or even at all. And he lacks kind of power, so that's going to allow Benito Lopez to do his style where he's throwing a lot of shots. He's active, he's volume, high pace throughout from round to round, high activity, high output, going for big shots, high risk, high reward. And Vince Morales is really not going to be able to capitalize, in my opinion. I don't see him really being able to fully capitalize to really change the course of the fight. He might survive it just for being so technical and so clean. He might be able to survive the fight. Survive the round, not get finished. But I think the judge is going to favor Benito Lopez forward pressure, his activity, whether it lands or not. Just the fact that's going to be having him pushing him back and him throwing probably 2-1 to what Vince Morales is doing. It's not going to be like that Allan, what was his name, Zahabi fight, where Zahabi was pretty much bending out on the back foot. Lopez is a front runner. He's a guy that's he's the pressure fighter. He likes to be on the front foot. He likes to be the one pushing you back. It's going to be a different dynamic. I think just his activity is going to be the determining factor of this fight, and Morales not really having the power or anything to really stop him from putting out that output that he will be putting out. So in this fight, I got Benito Lopez via decision. Now on to our next fight we have in the bantamweight division, Ping-Yuan Liu versus Jonathan Martinez. So looking at this fight, from the back you might think that Ping-Yuan Liu is the man in this fight, but really, I remember watching that card when it happened, when his last fight was on, and that China card over with Ngannou with main eventing it versus Curtis Blades for the rematch. And there was a lot of fights where these Asian fighters, you expected them to do more, and they really didn't impress you. Like Yadong Song wasn't really impressive, and some other guys wasn't impressive as they could have been. And then I remember one guy really losing his fight clearly, but got a gifted home cooked decision type of fight, and that was Ping-Yuan Liu. I think takedowns were even in the fight, but I think he nearly got doubled in strikes. And it was clear that he lost every round. It looked like he was getting outclassed the fight, but somehow the judges gave it to him. So you might say, oh, this guy's 2-0 to UFC, and Jonathan Martinez lost to Andre Sukumtov. But Jonathan Martinez, honestly showed me much more skill than Ping-Yuan Liu. Liu was really disappointed me big time last fight. I picked him to win the last fight, but in my opinion, he lost. You might say, oh, I'm glad the guy picked one, but sometimes you got to just be honest. That guy really lost. He got a super gifted, gift wrap decision. I think Jonathan Martinez could present similar issues for Liu. I think he's a longer, lankier fighter. I think Liu will have a 2-inch reach advantage, but I think Martinez has a 3 to 4 inch height advantage. That comes with legs, and he's good at moving. He's good at throwing legs. He's good at throwing kicks. Good at changing things up. Good at creating angles and setting up traps and all that stuff. And that's caused Ping-Yuan Liu issues. And Ping-Yuan Liu's boxing really isn't the best either. He's a solid, powerful fighter, but it's really, other than that, his technique really isn't all that clean. He's just a tough guy with a little bit of power, some decent little well-rounded skill set. But I think Jonathan Martinez is just a more slicker fighter, and his only loss is up a weight class at short notice to Andre Sukumtov, who's also an underrated fighter. So really in this fight, I think Martinez can use that range and exploit Liu, outland him, outwork him, and beat him to a decision. So in this fight, I got Jonathan Martinez via decision. Now on to our next fight we have in the women's strawweight division, Livia Renata Souza versus Brianna Van Buren. So looking at this fight, you got Van Buren. She's 4'11", very short, even for a strawweight. Then you got Souza, who is 5'4", pretty average for a women's strawweight, pretty average size-wise. But looking at this fight, Van Buren is a young, solid prospect coming off that tournament win, a one-night tournament, three people won it, submitted 2 out of the 3 people. So she's looking very talented, but her skill set is looking kind of more so a grappler. She's going against a more experienced grappler, a former Invicta champion, a fighter who's been fighting in the top competition longer. And she does more. I think her striking is better, and I think her grappling better. She has experience. Yes, Van Buren may or may not have a higher ceiling. She's a fresher blood. She's riding the better momentum, but Renata Souza has experience. I think she has the better skills at the given moment. I think they're kind of jumping Van Buren in a little bit too early. A little bit too high on the totem pole, or at least stylistically wise. I think you will want to drop her in there a little bit lower, maybe with some fighter that maybe has a grappling deficiency, or maybe a fighter who's a little bit more well-rounded, and that should give her a grappling advantage or give her some type of advantage so she can get her feet wet. But I guess maybe this is the best type of match. You can see just how good she is. Win or lose is not going to affect her too much, and then you just choose where you push her from that point on. But right now, I just think Renata Souza is just kind of just a much better version of what Van Buren is right now. She might have that young, youthful bravado, that feeling like she's undefeated, even though she's not. She might come with that pace and that come with that energy. But Renata Souza knows how to direct the energy. And even her last fight, she fought another solid person. A solid fighter, coming in with some steam, huge size advantage, and still was able to out-grapple and grapple her and just dictate where the fight was going, dictating the pace. And I think she can do that in this fight. It's going to be a tough, gritty fight, but it's going to come down to veteran experience, and Renata Souza has that veteran experience. So in this fight, I got Livia Renata Souza via decision. Now on to our next fight we have in the featherweight division, Darren Elkins versus Ryan Hall. Now this is a very interesting matchup, kind of like a grappler versus grappler. Darren Elkins striking, well, I wouldn't even say he's striking a little bit better, because Ryan Hall started, I think he was training with Wonder Boy or somebody, and his kicks started looking much better. Obviously, didn't look like Wonder Boy kicks, but it looked like he's been training with Wonder Boy and some of those people. But yeah, Ryan Hall's striking has certainly improved. I think grappling-wise, Ryan Hall is just a whole different league from Darren Elkins. Heart-wise, Darren Elkins' heart is in a whole different league. But in fighting, when you've got somebody with that much of a grappling advantage over you, or that much of a technical advantage, you have all the heart in the world, but your chances of winning are still going to be very slim. You got to make it a fight about heart. And I think Ryan Hall is not going to allow him to be that. I think on the feet, Darren Elkins really not a power, doesn't really have any power punches. He's just more of a gritty, grindy fighter. He doesn't really have much knockout power. He either is in your face trying to pressure you or trying to take you down. And on the ground, he's going to be out of his league. And on the feet, I don't think Ryan Hall has too much issues with Darren Elkins striking. And I think he could roll down, and Darren Elkins has some pretty skinny ankles, pretty skinny legs. I think Ryan Hall, even if Elkins pressures heavy, he'll just roll for a leg and get a leg lock on him, or a toe hold or something. No, I think on the feet, he could keep Darren Elkins away. Darren Elkins pretty slow, pretty plodding fighter. Can't really even get on the inside on him. So really, I just think either whatever way Darren Elkins does, I think he gets submitted in the first round. So in this fight, I got Ryan Hall via first round submission. Now on to our next fight we have in the women's bantamweight division, Juliana Pena versus Nico Montano. So an Ultimate Fighter winner versus an Ultimate Fighter winner. I said one Ultimate Fighter winner. When she won her show, she also won the belt, the inaugural women's flyweight belt. But yeah, looking at this fight, they're kind of similar in a way. But I think Juliana Pena is just a better version of what Nico Montano is. Nico Montano, she's not the most technical fighter. She's not the most talented, but she's one of the hardest working fighters. She'll, go out there and bite it on her mouthpiece, and she'll fight. She'll scrap. Same with Juliana Pena, but Juliana Pena has the much better grappling. She's going to be the bigger fighter, and she's going to be the stronger fighter, more technical fighter. And grappling in this fight, I think grappling is going to be the biggest determining factor in this fight. And Juliana Pena, like I said, she's the grappler, she's the wrestler, and the jiu-jitsu person. And she's going to be able to take her down, constantly go after these takedowns. I don't think Nico Montano's going to really have any answer to what Juliana Pena does. And Juliana Pena's going to take her down, swarm her. And I think she TKOs her in the second round. So in this fight, I have Juliana Pena via second round TKO. Now to our co-prelim headliner we have in the featherweight division, Andre Fili versus Shayman Moraes. So looking at this fight is very interesting. This might be the hardest fight to call on the prelim section of this card. You got Shayman Moraes, who has so much talent, such a high ceiling. I see this guy as a guy that can turn into a featherweight Thiago Santos. Like a guy, maybe not coming out like this, the guy that's just, this guy is a super amazing guy. He's going to jump up and automatically be something. We see what this guy that has all this athletic ability, like Thiago Santos. He wasn't really no hot shot coming up. He saw the knockout power. He saw the talent in him. But he wasn't a guy you saw it like, this guy's going to be a champion one day. This guy's going to be that. And the same with Shayman Moraes. You won't see him as no champion or day, like one day type thing. But you can see how athletic he is, how much pop he has, and so much this and so much that. Just a phenomenal athlete, freak abilities. But maybe not that mental ability or that, that championship qualities. But certainly has those abilities to, over long term, evolve into something. But with Andre Fili, you saw a talented fighter, but maybe a fighter that just doesn't have that one attribute that separates him from anyone. Because he's not that creative. I mean, I'm not saying he's not creative. I'm also saying he's not that like legendary creative, like a guy that's so creative that you can't even catch on what he's doing. He can take it all the way to a title, or a guy that has so much speed or so much power, or so like such slick kickboxing or such slick boxing or such slick grappling, or he just blends everything together so well. So Andre Fili, he kind of is falling into this guy that's more of a middle of the pack, and that's kind of where he's going to stay, in my opinion. Unless somebody gets injured out of a title shot and he jumps into a title shot. But other than that, it seems like he's kind of fell into this middle of the pack. Moraes might be able to jump over that middle of the pack, but right now he's trying to get situated in that middle of the pack. But at this given moment, I think this is the best opportunity for Andre Fili to beat Moraes. Andre Fili can really be on a 4-fight winning streak, if not for that Michael Johnson fight, which was a split decision that could have easily went his way. Other than that, he's with like a 1-on-2 fight winning streak, lost, then just beat another good fighter in Miles Jory. So that was a pretty impressive performance from him. So he showed a lot of good skill set, chewed up the legs, some good boxing, good movement. And then right now, looking at his style, Moraes has, like I said, he has all that explosive ability, all the athleticism. But his area where he lacks is maybe creativity as well, maybe versatility and being able to mix things up, because he kind of gets predictable. Like he has all that power. And he can hurt you. He can kind of overcome that lack of being, like, matter of fact, like when somebody just hits so hard and so explosive, like it don't matter if they're creative or not. Whether you blocking it or doing the right things, you're getting hit by him. You're in the wrong place. Like in some of his fight, like the Julio Arce fight, Arce was doing everything right, but as soon as he got hit, his like that technique started to go to one. Like they said, when everybody has a game plan until they get hit. And that's kind of what it goes with Moraes. You can't take his power. Every time he hits you, you're dropping skills. Like you're A+, then you're A-, B, stuff like that. That's kind of what he is. But going against Andre Fili is actually a tough guy. He's only been knocked out by Yair Rodriguez, who's obviously one of the most creative fighters in the sport right now, by some unorthodox stuff. But Moraes is predictable. So Andre Fili has a solid chin, and Moraes doesn't have that unpredictable factor about him. He does have the power, but he's not unpredictable. And Andre Fili has shown to take a good chin has shown the ability to have a good chin against some heavy hitters. And also with his experience, his volume, the gym he comes from, I think he's able to put together a good game plan, outwork Moraes, see what he's coming with, mixing some takedowns. I think he's able to put on a veteran performance and get a close, gritty win over Moraes. So in this fight, I have Andre Fili via decision. Now on to our main event, our prelim headliner we have in the light heavyweight division, Mike Rodriguez versus John Allan. So looking at this fight, I don't know why this has been put together, but just get straight to, I think Mike Rodriguez is just better everywhere over John Allan. He's a bigger fighter. He's a longer fighter. He's a faster fighter. He's a more athletic fighter. He's a more experienced fighter. He has like more power, more speed, more skills. I don't know why John Allan is getting this shot, because he was fought on a contender series, lost to a guy who was 0-2 in the UFC now. I forget the guy's name already. He lost to the guy, got submitted by him. And then fought some other guy that of no note, beat him, and now he's getting a UFC shot. I guess it's just more to build Mike Rodriguez. They see how much talent he has, so give him a fight that's going to build him. And they show that also the light heavyweight division always needs new bodies. So I think they're being more open to just bringing people in so they can fill out the roster. I think with this fight, it's going to be Mike Rodriguez, just like I said, just being better everywhere. I think he just runs through him. Matter of fact, I think he's going to kind of take it slow in the first round, fill him out. Allan does have at least some respectable striking. Nothing amazing, but you got respect in the first round. Then in the second round, he starts to pick him apart and takes him out of there. So in this fight, I got Mike Rodriguez via second round TKO. And that concludes my predictions for the prelims of UFC Fight Night on ESPN Plus, De Randamie versus Ladd. And as always, thanks for watching.